Fez is looking good, honestly. I had met him in person before. He's lost a lot of weight, clearly prioritizing his...
That over betting, obviously.
Come on, you think I'm going to come on here and put one of the Aussies in the elite tier?
I'd vote for Rob of 25,000.
I wouldn't vouch for you.
I can basically just cheat and get the same bets that they're getting. And
it's weird because you can also pay your bills at the same place where you bet.
See, this guy talks a lot of trash. He's talked a lot of trash about me, Rob, a lot of people in the community, but he's refusing to show his face.
Touting yourself as a pretty good NFL gambler, I thought you were an idiot.
Say testing, I'm a cuck, 1, 2, 3, 4.
The Aussies, going head-to-head with the Aussies. That's what I drew for, and I said, get him, Kirk.
And they call me a mean-spirited name. I don't hang out with them.
The Toronto Maple Leafs at 14-1, staring me dead in the face.
I'm already getting, a lot of early. This could be the best Circles Off episode that's ever been done.
Welcome to Circles Off, episode number 167, right here, part of the Hammer Betting Network, and presented by Pinnacle Sportsbook. I'm Rob Pizzola, joined by Johnny from betstamp, back from Las Vegas. I don't know about you, but I'm still, we're a week later. Not a week, but half a week. I can't get back on Eastern. I'm up at 5 a.m. every day because that was my regular craps time.
I'm back sleeping. I don't know what it is about Vegas. We're on Eastern time, moving 3 hours behind.
Yeah.
But we still stay up even later. So we'll stay up till 5 in the morning, which is really 8 a.m. for us. It doesn't make sense.
I think my body clock is just messed up because I went from Europe to Vegas, so that's a 9-hour difference, and then back to Toronto 3 hours I don't know what time it is. I can't go to sleep, man.
I'm pretty irregular sleeper anyways, sleeping pattern, so it is what it is for me. I'm back. I get back right away. Yeah. But definitely some late nights, gambling at the tables.
You had the latest nights.
I stayed up. I don't like to go to sleep. If people are still gambling, I'm there. I love actually betting with friends, even if it's on even expected value or negative EV stuff slightly. Obviously, I wouldn't condone this if you're playing for any amount of money that's significant for you. But, for a couple $100, not a big deal. We're not necessarily betting massive. I mean, at times you do get out of hand a little bit, but nothing massive. You'll never catch me gambling at a casino by myself. Hey, this guy's at the table. But if you're playing craps and there's a whole table of, let's say, 8, 9, 10 people, everybody, there's people playing behind, there's 2 tables, it's all guys from the gambling community. Honestly, the value in that is worth way more than the expected value loss on your negative EV bet by a mile. The friends I made from gambling at the tables at this trip is worth so much more to me than however much money I lost. And by the way, honestly, overall it's about even.
Yeah, of course. Everyone comes back from Vegas about even. So for those that don't know, we were there for BetBash 2024. This episode is going to be a review of BetBash. Now, when I told Johnny I wanted to do this episode, we agree. We've listened to recap episodes in the past, other podcasts. They typically suck. Let's be honest. Recap episodes typically suck, especially for a lot of people who weren't there. A lot of times they're filtered, I would say. People do their best to promote. They don't want to put things in a negative light. This is going to be a no BS podcast. I'm friends with Spanky, puts in a lot of work to put on this event. The truth is, I would highly recommend the event to pretty much any type of bettor, but I do plan on telling it from my perspective, and that's all inclusive. What's good, what's bad. I think that's the only way to do it.
We'll try to mix in some good stories here because my exact text back to Rob when he said we got to do a BetBash recap episode was BetBash recaps suck, which they do. They do. Unless we're actually going to tell some stories or some real stuff, then the episode's going to suck. So no, just kidding. Obviously, we'll keep it light. A couple things to address off the top. So a lot of people, and when I say a lot, I mean I think it was 12 or 13 people came up to me at BetBash, and they're like, "Oh, Johnny, you're so much taller than expected. I thought you were 5'6" or something. You look so small in the episodes. You look like you're at least a foot shorter than Rob," which I'm not. But you always gotta under promise, over deliver.
We're pretty much the same height, I think, roughly.
Yeah, I mean.
I'm 6 feet on the nose.
Not a contest, but I do believe I'm a bit taller.
Okay, I didn't know. I don't know for certain. I just always
no, we're both the same height, but I mean, I guess I just look smaller. Maybe it's the cameras. Producer Zach doing me dirty. Could be
you also have, I think, a slightly bigger laptop than me. So maybe
is that it?
Maybe that
your laptop is significantly bigger.
So it could just be like a matter of perspective. Yeah. I like to also keep mine pushed down. I don't know what it is about. So that could be it. Could be the chair. But I will say, like, when I do watch the episodes back, if I didn't know you,
you'd be like, you look a little smaller. Okay, producer, don't do me dirty.
You need to put like a phone book in your seat.
Yeah. And then a couple guys also commenting saying they didn't know that I had hair. A lot of guys thought I was just fully balding, which I guess partially. The hairline is going a bit back as the years go, but you could see my hair on the last episode, I guess, in the live pod.
There was a picture of you with Fezzik and me when during the speed networking. I got Fezzik. I'll talk about that afterwards, but and you weren't wearing your hat. And there was like a bunch of people who commented on it, and they're like, "Oh, Johnny's been hiding that head of hair this entire time." Then one guy just came in and was like, "If you zoom in closer, you'll see the receding hairline."
Yeah, exactly. If you zoom in all the way, but hey, it is what it is.
Oh, man. All right, we're going to get right into it. Before we do, obviously NFL season right around the corner. College football season just a week away. You should know by now to bet into low-margin sportsbooks. Honestly, got some content coming up by the end of the month, which explains hold a little bit better for those who are always asking, oh, what's hold? How do I calculate it? But every cent matters when you're betting on sports. Make sure you check out Pinnacle Sportsbook if you're in Canada. Great resource to bet for NFL, college football. If you are successful and you're one that complains about getting limited, this book won't take my bet, it's not going to be an issue for you at Pinnacle. So check them out. Use code HAMMER if you're signing up in Canada. It does support us here on Circles Off. And as always, you must be 19 plus, not available in the U.S., and please play responsibly.
Wait, quickly. I don't even know what happened, and I feel like people out there might want to know. What happened with the interaction with Fezzik? Like, how did it go? Did he approach you? What happened?
No, I mean, like, listen, I don't even hate Fezzik. I just got to lean into this at this point, though, right? So I saw him like, hey, there he is, the billionaire Fezzik. You know, he's like, what are you gonna do? You got to lean in, right?
Yeah,
like that's the only way to do it. And then no, he said we got to do a round 2, and he gave me some homework to calculate. He's like, hey, assuming you have this much bankroll, this much edge, whatever, then like, what should my bet sizing be? And like, obviously we'll get into it when he comes on again. Looking forward to doing the episode. But yeah, listen, everyone's a nice guy. I don't hate anybody from the community. No, I don't think anybody does. You see people in person. Like, I didn't even think the episode with Fezzik. I actually recently watched it back after Kanish said it was my 12 for 12 GOAT performance. After I watched it back, at least that interaction, and like, I didn't even think it was anything bad. It was just a conversation. But no, yeah, definitely don't hate him.
Did it bother you at all that he had bigger arms than you?
Fez? No, bro. Listen, the guy's in the best shape in the entire. Like, I'll say this right now for everyone here. Not a lot of people in great shape at this conference.
That is true.
That's an understatement.
Yep.
Okay, not a lot of people in great shape. There's 4. This is not age adjusted. This is just overall best shape. Alan Boston. The guy is absolutely deezed, bro. And he's 66 years old. Respect to Alan. Say what you want about him. For whatever else, that guy's in great shape.
On the final night, there's a Legacy Club party. I believe Alan Boston had approximately 1 button done up on his shirt. He is shredded. Like, he's got like an 8-pack, Alan Boston.
He was walking around the pool like that.
The pool, yeah. He is.
Yeah.
I mean, if you remember the day that we recorded, he was like a little bit late. And it was because he was coming from the gym. But he came on, he's like, yeah, I just did like my 2 hours at the gym. And he's like, yeah, I do that every day. So I mean, credit to him. But if he punched me, I might disintegrate.
Good on him. My goal is next year I want to be best shape at the conference. So we'll keep progress on that over the year for everyone listening at home. And you can go back and look at an old episode. And then we'll look at like episode 100, and then we'll go episode 200, and then eventually 300. I'm going to be nobody will be saying that I'm small. Come episode 300, I can guarantee you that.
Well, that's a long time from now. You're giving yourself a real long rollout.
It takes a long time to get actually jacked.
It does to get into that type of condition. But yeah, there was some. Fez looking good. Honestly, I had met him in person before. He's lost a lot of weight. clearly prioritizing his...
That over betting, obviously.
Oh, man. Okay, before we get into it, really quickly, for those that don't know, venue was Circa Sports, which is downtown Las Vegas, Fremont Street. My opinion, one of the best possible venues you can have for a conference like this. I actually did not leave Circa, with the exception of going to one barbecue that I got invited to, that we both went to, and playing in like...
And then going right back.
Yeah, but and the golf and poker event that I played with were off-site. Aside from that, I was pretty much at Circa, ate all my meals there, spent my time in the sports book, at the casino, on the casino floor. Love that spot. I'm much more preferential to the Strip in Las Vegas than I am downtown Vegas. However, I think if this was on the Strip, I wouldn't enjoy it as much because I would be bouncing around a lot more, and just being around everyone every day and always having something to do makes it great. So Circa is very good host.
If you've ever been to Circa, you know what they need guaranteed? They need a faster food spot. Okay, they have 4 food spots in there, or 3 food spots.
4
if you count the burger.
And technically, you can get a breakfast sandwich at Jackpots, which I saw is
that doesn't count. That's
pretty regularly.
They have 4 food places. They got all of them. You're looking at a minimum 30 minutes before you get your food, which is just it's just terrible. You got to have a spot where you can just get like quicker food for a lunch or something. But yeah, that's my only beef with Circa. But yeah, I literally ate at only the Circa places too.
And we said we would
3 times each.
We said we would keep it real. This is not my particular beef, but I would warn anyone there. So I saw another video about this yesterday. There was a guy there that goes by the DGen Weekly on Twitter. Good guy. Talked to him for a little bit. He did his review of the event. He's more of a rec bettor, very different than us two. But he ended up on the side of the hotel that has Stadium Swim. I mean, don't end up on that side unless you're like really in for a party. If you're planning on waking up late, and you want to sleep in, it ain't happening, man. The music gets going on that side of the hotel. So pro tip, if you're ever going there and you don't want that, just say you want to be on the other side.
Yeah, but contrary, if you want to sweat some bets in the morning, you look right out the window, you get all the games on right out the window. So it's give and take. Also, if you just don't go to sleep until very late, it's not even an issue.
Yes.
So there you go. I'm a big Stadium Swim side guy. I'll take that.
You like the Stadium Swim side?
Yeah, but I could sleep through anything. I could go on a plane and sleep in one minute, no matter the conditions, whatever.
I'm actually very jealous of that.
Same.
Based off of what I've been going through recently.
No good.
No good. Also, I will say that the diversity of the attendees this year was wider, like more of a disparity. You had a lot of pro bettors, saw a lot of rec bettors, content creators.
A couple of businesses this year,
industry professionals as well. I honestly think that makes it more challenging to put on a conference like this. If we're being honest, you're just like, there's so many different types of bettors that if it was a professional betting conference, it'd be much easier to figure out what to do. Or if it was a rec betting conference, but putting all these people together makes it more challenging. Like one of the examples, one of the talks was one of the first seminars, Spank Odds Advanced User Guide. Spank Odds Advanced User Guide. What would that mean to you? To me, it would mean they're probably going to tell you some stuff that like is not very apparent in Spank Odds. Within the first 2 minutes, I saw like 10 people walk out of the door. I was like, what's going on in there? They're like, yeah. They're telling you to take like the sharp sports books, like Pinnacle, move them to the left side. I'm like, yeah, it's not much of an advanced user guide. Like, listen, calling it out for what it is, it's really challenging to put on stuff like that. But
for a lot of people, though, that's the difficulty, right? Because you have such a diverse base. So for a lot of people, they're like, holy shit, like this is revolutionizing my betting, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I was going to ask you guys, like, in your opinion, how many people what percentage of people that attended do you actually think that are on your level or close to your level or in your group?
I don't know. It's really hard to put a number on that because when you consider professional bettors, there's like a lot of different avenues to that, right? Like there's professional movers as well. Do you consider them in the professional bettor category? Right. If they don't actually work, but they're just moving other people's action? I do personally because they're making a living from sports betting. So it's tough to ask that, but there was notably a lot of casuals there this year, I will say.
Yeah, there's a lot. I'd say of the people who went, my estimation would be, and people might disagree with this, but so there's probably I think there's like 700 or so 100 people, maybe 800 people, something like that. I'd say probably 200 people of that don't even bet. Like they don't bet, meaning like they're maybe 150 to 200. They're from like a bank or from something that's sponsored, like legal, something in the betting space, maybe media people, but don't actually bet for real. So that will leave those people out. And then I'd say of the rest of the people, maybe 60% winners. What would you say?
I think that's a good
50 to 70% winners,
two-thirds
max.
Winners, yeah.
So there was, I do think there was a couple losing bettors there from people I talked to.
People I talked to that admitted they were losing bettors.
Yeah,
and trying to learn, which is like, that's what makes the panels and the seminars difficult, right? I'll be honest, like full transparency, when I saw the seminars that came out, obviously we were doing a Circles Off podcast as well. I didn't have a lot of excitement for them. There wasn't a bunch. I only signed up to attend one and put my name on the list. That was the NFL preview with Judah Fortgang, who's now part of our NFL coverage here at the Hammer on Forward Progress. Make sure you're subscribed to Forward Progress for NFL season. But aside from that, I didn't sign up for anything. I was just kind of going in and out. I will say, having people sign up for panels and seminars, in my opinion, is a bad idea, because what tends to happen, and what I noticed, is people will just sign up for a bunch of stuff because they feel if they don't, that they won't have the opportunity to go there. Then a lot of people just don't show up for them. So some of these rooms were half empty, even though they were quote unquote sold out. I think that's not a great look, and maybe prevented someone else who was late to sign up from going. I mean, conferences I typically have gone to in the past before, you just have your rooms and you just walk in. I understand these are smaller rooms for some of these seminars. They can only hold 100 people, but I don't know what the solution is. I just thought that a lot of people put a lot of work into presenting. You have 20 people show up when your room was sold out. It's kind of shitty.
I mean, we did ours. It was pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good. We got maybe 2/3 of the room full, even though we were told.
I think we were more than that.
More than that.
Yeah,
roughly. We had like 6-7 empty seats in the whole room.
Yeah,
but yeah, it is what it is, man. If you came out to support us, you're probably watching this episode too. Then we appreciate the support. Gave away some nice Pinnacle swag.
Oh yeah,
had a good time. A lot of good laughs for sure.
Yeah, I attended a few seminars. I actually heard really good things about a couple. So Harut and Drew, we've had them both on when we were on Circles Off back in the day.
Two original.
Two OGs. They did a growing as a professional gambler seminar, which was like ups and downs of betting. For those that don't know, they've experienced like a significant downturn in their betting and kind of had to come back up from that. I heard from people who were there that was actually a really interesting discussion. I don't know that there's a lot of takeaways from that, but in terms of storytelling, I thought that was great. I heard good things about Plus EV Analytics, Matt Buckhalter, although I will say a lot of people did say there was like information over, like too much in that 1 hour. You were there at that one, right?
Yeah. No, I was there. It was a good, a pretty good. The beginning, explained really like what the correlation and stuff is, which for most people who bet, they would understand that already. But there's a lot of people in the room that probably didn't know that. They went through some edges, how to calculate. I think is very valuable to a lot of bettors. Especially if you're just even if you're not betting same game parlays or correlated edges or anything like that. So it's really good to know how people think about it and how you can calculate a lot of these things. So if you were looking to learn, I think you could have taken something from a lot of these, but really it depends on your level, right? Because it's so hard to put. It's like, imagine a university style course, but then like some of the people in your class, like they never took this before, and then some people are like in like 5th year advanced, and then you have to put them in the same class.
Yeah,
so it's hard to
tough. That's what I mean about like the diversity of the conference, right? Because if you're doing a correlated parlays seminar and you know that the entire room is casual bettors,
you teach it a lot differently than for pros.
And you have to like kind of cater to the whole crowd, so that makes it tough. I checked out Profiting from Injuries with Fezzik and Dr. Chow. I met Dr. Chow this week. I have a very contrarian take on Dr. Chow, which gambling Twitter will roast me because they hate that guy. I forget about for those that don't know the historical precedent for why people don't like him. He did some stuff with Clay Travis on Outkick before. He's also was known when he was in the NFL with the Chargers for, frankly, I mean, there's lots of articles about it, not being a good doctor. Like a lot of misdiagnoses, prescribing pills for players and stuff like that. I don't want to go down that road all that much because whatever, it's not what I'm interested in. I'm interested in sports betting. But I did like a few years back, I won't mention the other bettors that helped me with this, but we did a study of people who are publicly doing injury analysis, and Dr. Chow is actually pretty good at the injury analysis. Like if we got out ahead of a lot of stuff because of his assessment, and I actually think it worked in our favor that nobody else likes him because people just like dismissed everything that he was saying. He does speak in generality sometimes, so it's like, how do you consider this an accurate prediction versus not? I will say, though, that panel, it was just tough to listen to himself pat himself on the back for a lot of the previous injury. Like, I felt like that was half the panel, which was a challenge. I didn't really like a lot of the seminars. I'm just going to throw it out there. Personally, maybe not geared towards me, but I didn't get value out of a lot of the sessions that I attended without trying to throw people under the bus. Last year, I was part of a panel with Darren Ravel, and that was considered, and I'm not just speaking like out of my ass here, that was considered the highlight of the week by many because it became very confrontational between Ravel, Jeff Benson, myself, Dave Sharapan, and Steve Fezzik, kind of like trying to play the middle. This year, there was a specific session that garnered some steam, which I was not at because I was actually getting ready for the pool. True story when we get into this. But there was session was actually captured in video by some people that told me that they had a video of it. I have not seen a video, so I had to do like witness accounts. I got 6 witness accounts from people that were at this session. Not going to give their names, it doesn't matter. But it was the American Bettor's Voice session with Richard, I don't know how to pronounce his last name, Schoitz? Something like that. Sorry, apologies for I'm terrible with pronunciations. So this is a seminar where he's explaining the vision of American Bettor's Voice, has some bullet points up on screen. There's a mic in the front of the room to ask questions. Spanky opens up the mic to a bunch of people in the room. Anyone who wants to ask questions, participate in the discussion. One guy in the audience raises his hand. Joe Brennan, who I believe is the executive chairman for Prime Sports, which is another sharp sports book in the U.S., goes up to the front, grabs the mic, brings it up to this guy, and this guy casually asks, how does ABV, American Bettor's Voice, plan to get casual and rec players involved in its mission? Which, in my opinion, excellent question. Totally valid. Because if you have ABV who's representing bettors as a whole, you would want to get rec bettors involved in the mission, or at least part of that. Brennan walks the mic back up to the front of the room, shaking his head, and then goes on what has been described as by Captain Jack as an epic rant at the round table. If you weren't there, ask somebody who was there, spread the word. Some people did not view it as epic. They viewed it as, I'll just use the word Bush League. Not that anyone actually specifically said that, but we have Mitty here. Prime Sports rep just went 10 minutes berating everyone in attendance and not in attendance with what the fuck are you doing to improve the industry, and then bitched about how few people are at this seminar. They're probably at the fucking pool, totally unhinged and gross. And there was more of this on social media. So
and where were you, Rob? Where were you?
I was not yet at the pool. I was shaving my chest and putting on my swimsuit. If we want to know the full, I looked down at my chest hair and I'm like, this is way too long to appear in public. Ran the razor, not shaving my chest, but yeah. Listen, I wanted to look presentable around my peers, which I gave out as a tip on our live podcast last week. Brendan goes on this tirade.
You're shaving after that shower pic he posted. You got so much hate.
That was tough. I had to. Anyways, just back on this topic. I don't want to get into the topic of shaving my chest. So Brennan is basically saying, don't ask what ABV is going to do for you. Ask what you can do for ABV. Multiple people describe this as a profanity-laced tirade. He called out BetBash attendees in general, saying they're too lazy, expecting someone else to advocate on their behalf, looked individual audience members in the eye and asked questions of them. Are you a pro bettor? Have you been limited? What are you doing about it? Angrily. Why is this room empty compared to speed networking? Was muttered. You all have the power because you all have fucking money, was like another line that was uttered. He actually called out Captain Jack, saying, where are the rest of the members of your team? Which happened live there. And there was 4 other seminars going on at the same time. There was a pool party, a live watch-along party. Candidly, not only was I shaving my chest and putting on my bathing suit, I was ripping some last-minute bets in the sports book so that I could cheer for something in the preseason game. People are now starting to get up and leave. It's really uncomfortable. The kid who asked the question is flabbergasted by the whole thing. One point, starts laughing to himself about it. Brendan sees this, turns around and yells at him, what the fuck are you laughing about? Which is got to be an I wish I was there for this. And then apparently just really awkward afterwards. Richard doesn't know what to say. Made a funny joke to try to get like the tension down in the room. And that's it. And apparently at some point later on, Joe Brennan acknowledged that he was using this kid that asked a question for dramatic effect. But everyone that I reached out to told me that they were very uncomfortable in this room. Now, that's the highlight of this year in terms of like controversy, a session that stirred things up. I want to make it very clear here that I don't know Joe Brennan well. I met Joe Brennan in the speed networking event at BetBash last year, where we sat down. He was telling me about Prime Sports and it launching. We talked for 7 or 8 minutes. That was it. What I'm going to say now, I would say this to Joe Brennan's face. I was actually going to say this to Joe Brennan's face, but a Hall of Fame dinner on Friday night wasn't a good avenue to do that, especially in front of a lot of his peers. I didn't see him at Legacy Club. He might have been there. I don't know. I didn't see him. But personally, ABV, I think, is a very noble effort by people. All right? I don't believe that bettors should be treated differently. We've talked about this before. I think that there should be some sort of fairness in the sports betting industry. And it kind of sucks that somebody can bet, $100,000 on a game because they're a terrible bettor, and someone else can only bet $1 on the same game because they're a good bettor. However, I understand that there's businesses at play here that want to make money. The problem I have with the ABV and attending sessions like this are that I've heard this described as like a union before. This is a union for sports bettors. It's not a union for sports bettors. Because
bro, that's what we need, a union.
Well, look, okay, from our perspective, we're not in a union. So whenever we hear stuff like labor strikes for this, my natural reaction is like, another union situation. But a union is generally responsible for the same thing, like teachers union, whatever union you might be talking about, getting people paid, fairly. That's a mandate. Making sure workplace conditions are good, suitable, and essentially like maintaining that. That's what the union is responsible for, those things. The problem with this, and like calling it a union for sports bettors, is that it entails that all sports bettors are looking for the same thing. And that's where I have a problem with that. So fair limits for everyone. Do you know how that would impact different types of bettors? For some bettors, that's great. For 99% of bettors, it's not even a problem. Let's call that out for what it is.
That's fair limits. It's tough in the industry, but it's actually really not even good. Fair limits.
Well, this is what I'm saying. So it depends how you earn your. Say you earn your edge in sports betting by betting same game parlays, as an example. Now all of a sudden, sports books have to offer X limit to everyone who bets a same game parlay. What do you think is going to happen to that offering?
they're either not going to offer it or they're going to offer a significantly reduced version of it, obviously.
Right.
Just like the main sports books that don't limit anybody do not have the offerings that people are currently winning on. And for example, a perfect example would be, I'm wearing the hat right now, Pinnacle Sportsbook. Great book, incredibly fair book, not going to limit anybody, has a standard posted limit that's the same for everybody. I could bet 500, Rob, Zach, ex-professional better, Spanky, whatever it is, everyone gets $500. However, what that does is like Pinnacle, they don't have like 1,894 same game parlay combinations for Reds Yankees. They don't have that.
Right.
They have 25 prop types for the game. They take a nickel on each and they call it a day and they move the lines accordingly. But they're never going to be able to offer that same standard limit and then offer a crazy amount on same game parlays and stuff like that. So it's give and take. All these guys that are asking for fair limits, like, do you think they could be like? Obviously, it'd be great if you could never get limited on any of the rec books, and but they would just be losing money. They just had to file for bankruptcy. It'd just be over.
Right. So I see Joe's point of view, and you have to understand he's part of Prime Sports, a sharp sports book, who wants to take big bets, different business model completely. But I don't like the notion that all pro sports bettors are fighting for the same thing. That rubs me the wrong way. It's why I don't want to go to these things. It's why I don't want to be a part of them, because it's really hard to advocate for all bettors. Now, deep down, if you think that ethically everyone should be allowed to bet the same thing, that's fine. I can totally understand that point of view. But I know the way that I earn my living, and in a lot of cases, it wouldn't be beneficial for me for a sports book to have to take a certain bet on certain things.
If Rob could bet whatever he wanted at DraftKings, he quite literally would be a billionaire.
Yes.
That's the reality of it. You'd scale it up and you'd continue to grow and you'd eventually be a billionaire. That's how it would work. But obviously, DraftKings would be out of business if that happened. So they can't offer that. It's not feasible.
Yes. Now also, just like the whole tirade of there's a bunch of people at the fucking pool or whatever, I probably got more out of being at the pool, seriously, for 4 hours than I will ever get at any seminar that is presented at BetBash.
The value is in the networking, man. The value is at the tables. Is at the tables throwing dice at 3 in the morning. That's when you're going to get the value out of the conference. I've been saying this.
I'm totally with you. Like the pool part, like the stadium swim watch party is actually such a good avenue to network. You're outside, you're in the heat, you're walking through pools, you're seeing different people that you don't talk to, that you maybe haven't seen for that to me is actually more valuable, which is why I go to that event I'm not there to just get belligerent drunk. It's nice that there's an open bar there and I can have a couple pops. It's nice that I could watch preseason games, but I'm there to talk to people that I typically don't talk to. And to me, like, that's my decision. Don't berate people that went to the pool party at an event, that are a part of like a networking function that is part of the event. So I honestly, if I was in that room, I probably would have said something in real time, because that's just who I am.
You got to call him out now.
And I don't like to be
spoken to. You got to call him out now.
I would love for this to continue and pick up. I actually do really respect Prime Sports. I talked to Adam Bjorn a little bit this weekend on the way to the poker tournament. I have no disrespect for Joe Brennan. I actually think he's passionate, which is good for the industry in a lot of ways. But that really didn't sit well with me. Honestly, didn't sit. And I think that's one of the fairest questions that someone could answer is like, how do you get rec and casual bettors on board with this? Very simple. They represent the vast majority of the population. I don't know that warrants a tirade about the room being empty compared to speed networking, or people need to do something. I don't need to do anything. Don't tell me I need to do something, and the people that are there
getting triggered
need to do something. Anyways, I'll end it at that. I don't want it to go overboard. It is a little upsetting. It's like this this notion that we all have to care about what someone else cares about. We don't. Like, we're all adults. I care about certain things. You know, I'm in the content creation space. I care about some things that are related to that other people don't. It's not like I'm going to berate people. Like, why weren't you at this seminar on, how to create content? Like, that's it. Anyways, importance of networking at BetBash. I do want to move on. I played both the golf and poker tournaments because I had an ultimate VIP ticket. I like them both individually. I don't think I would ever play them again in one day. That was the longest day of my life. I went from golf to poker to dinner to
casino.
To casino floor. It was an extremely long day. It was hot.
We've been talking a lot about casino gambling right now. Like, obviously, gamble responsibly on casino. Yeah. Like, you don't have an edge. If you have an edge, you're in casino AP, slot machine AP player, go for it. Fire away, obviously, do your thing. If you don't have an edge, use it for fun. Use it for recreation. Bet a couple bucks. Bet what you can afford to lose. Go for fun. But obviously, just letting you know, like, don't go overboard on casino.
Agreed.
I feel like I need to say that.
No, you do. It's a good point. And honestly, there's a lot of people there that they were just on the casino floor that weren't betting. They were just part of the fun. Like, they buy yourself a beer.
The negative, the bet, and there's a couple guys, and I don't want to name them by name. There's a couple guys that are just there, hard. They just take a hard stance. I'll never place a negative EV bet. I'll never play a hand of blackjack. I'll never play a thing of roulette. And it's like, but by not playing, you're not gaining the chance to actually just get like a fun win with friends, and then also just build the relationships based on that. Like, I had an unreal night where me and this kid that I literally just met at BetBash, we teamed up, we went in, we ran a small stack up to a medium stack, and like had a massive like double down hand that we had to pull money from the cage because plus EV double down, you got to double down 11 on a 5. At that point, no matter how much is in, I'll place that bet for
the
sure.
Rumors that you guys had to shut down the high roller room for a little bit so that you could go down to get money to place a double.
I can't confirm any rumors, but all I can confirm is this: the experience, the fun I had during that night. There was 5 of us there. It was me, producer Zach, 3 other members of the betting community, 1 that has been on this podcast before, and 2 that will hopefully be on this podcast in the future, because that's how much fun it was. That's how good the relationships were. And none of us are going to forget how fun that night was. We were out until 7:38 in the morning, and sure, we ended up winning that night. But the expected value was down. So in EV, I definitely paid a couple $100 in expected value to have that night. But that's so much better of an experience than the $200 or $300 I would have paid to go to a dinner and a show anyways. Yep. So if you really think about it,
for us though, like in our position,
for us, negative EV betting is, you got to think of it when you're betting, like, okay, you might lose $500 that day, but you didn't really lose 500 in EV, because next time you might win 400. So net out, you may have lost 50 in EV, 100 in EV. Think about it that way, and then if you're betting like that and you're keeping it responsible, the form of entertainment there could work. But like I said, you're not going to catch me betting online casino by myself in my house, and you're certainly not going to catch me, betting by myself and driving down to Woodbine right now and setting up shop at the slots. But if we're with friends, it's to me, I'd much prefer that than what else? What's another waste of money? I don't know, booth and bottles at a club or something like that. Yeah. No doubt.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like these golf and poker events, right?
Booth and bottles at a club also could be EV if you're with the right people.
Exactly.
I gotta get
100%. 100%. It's
significant EV if with the right group.
With the right group.
With the right group, significant
could be
EV.
The worst EV imaginable in life. With the
all time, yes, negative EV. Same with casino. All time EV, negative. But with the right group of people, could easily be positive.
The poker tournament, I got eliminated by Marcello Marigliano, who I used to watch on YouTube play like high stakes poker with like Tom Dwan and some guys like that. So he dirtied me too. I had the nuts on the turn, got it all in good. He hit a full house on the river, but like that's the guy's hilarious, but the one of the funniest guys imaginable, but also. We exchange numbers. We've talked since the event. There's a possibility of doing some business together. I played golf with a guy named Ricky who lives 20 minutes from me, who I never would have found in my entire life. But we flew out to Vegas, ended up meeting each other, and could potentially have a relationship in the betting space going forward. This guy Marco from Montreal, like it's that type of stuff. matters. Speed networking this year. So I will always do the speed networking. No matter
it's good
what.
value. Good value.
I had a bad run this year, and this is not like to diminish.
Is this because you got GRP and Fezzik?
That's part. So this is a true story.
No, I'm not even chirping. Like, you already know those guys.
Of course, that's the problem. So like the true story is I was out very late the night before, Tuesday night. This is the night I did golf, poker.
I literally thought he was going to say something else.
Dinner, casino. I was
close.
I was out a long time. So my alarm goes off in the morning. I wake up, I turn over, and I checked the speed networking site, and my meetings were already posted. So like I'm going through these now, and I'm like, I know half of these people at least. I've had conversations with I think 9 of these 15 people. It did cross my mind of maybe I should catch up on some sleep, but then it's not fair to the people who get me. Like it would be a really shitty thing to do. But like, yeah, I know Steve Fezzik. We talk we DM each other on Twitter. We chat. Like GRP, do I want to sit down and talk? Like Matt Landis, I know Matt Landis. I could talk to him whenever I want to talk. So there's so many guys on the list. In my opinion, there needs to be some sort of change where maybe you have like a first run through of your sheet, and or it can just be like, I actually know these people that have signed up for this list. I don't want to sit down and meet with them. Like I literally met
4-time vetoes.
I met with one of my betting partners. Like I sat down with someone I talk to every single day, and that just feels like a waste of time. Speed networking last year for me, amazing. Probably like 13 really good contacts, people I stay in touch with. This year I didn't get so much out of it, but a lot of people did, which is great. My complaint this year was they had that massive ballroom for speed networking. All the tables were on like one side of the room.
I couldn't find any.
It was so hard to get to the tables. It was so hard to get to the tables.
If you had a table 158, good luck finding that. Impossible to find.
Yeah.
It actually didn't even exist.
I heard you stood up Fats for your speed network.
By mistake. I had a, honestly,
didn't know Fats' his real name.
I didn't know his name, but now I know his name. Now I know his real name. I won't dox him. But listen, honestly, speed networking, not bad. I think it's good. I would actually be in favor of like a second one of those back-to-back days. It's all good. Yeah, maybe if you can switch, but you never know what you're going to get. I had a lot of interesting people, and then a couple people that I didn't really care too much for. But it's the same. You never know what you're going to get, and you can learn something off everybody. I had a couple decent stories. One guy came up to me. He's like, "Can you win betting sports?" I said, "Yeah, I could win." He said, "Great." Slaps his card on the table. He's like, "You're going to come be a handicapper. I'll give you 60% of whatever you sell."
I'm like launching a new tote site.
Yeah, I'm like, it's not even a good deal. Like 60%, I'll just sell 100% of whatever I sell. I'm going to sell my stuff.
If you're going to sell your stuff, you do that. But industry standard for like those is like 50-50, 60-40. So he was being fair. He was giving you a fair offer. It's not like he tried to scum you or anything.
Yeah,
like
no, that. And then one guy, like, he was like trying to shill some gambling credit card. So I know he's definitely not going to listen to this podcast because he did not bet on sports at all.
He was in my foursome for golf.
Was he a good guy at least? No, I don't think it was that guy. It was a different guy. He was like a guy who worked at the bank as well, but not the same guy that was in your foursome.
Maybe not.
This guy was like, "So you would deposit with this credit card?" I'm like, "Yeah, I mean, I guess." Like, and then he's like, "Is your credit score above 625? Fill out this application." So you never know.
Yeah. No, that's anyways. You got some good ones though.
Yeah, of course. There's a lot of people there, and you never know someone that you never met before, and there's like, "Oh, hey, like I've listened to the show before. I know exactly who you are. I did this, and this." Actually helps out having the show, and a lot of people know who we are, so you don't have to get through the whole like, "Oh, I do this and I did this."
That's huge.
I'm from this.
That's like a 2-minute time saver at the beginning of. In previous years, I would have to go through that speech, but you're right. Now more people know us, which is great, by the way. Thanks for everyone who does tune in. Make sure you smash that like button. Make sure you're subbed if you don't. But also, like, just the personal interact. Like, I got to talk to Jelko for hours this year, I would say, a.k.a. John Wilson, I believe. You don't get those personal interactions. Like, we're talking about one of the best bettors on the planet, who's just at a betting conference looking for originators.
I know.
And just chatting it up and like willing to have very personal conversations. So like you don't get that, period. So like some people who a lot of people who put down BetBash, it's like, this is a big circle jerk of bettors, these guys and whatever. And it's like, I can see that from the outside looking in, but you do meet a lot of people that you would never have accessibility to at any other point in life. Not just Jelko, but many, many people in that regard who I just never would interact with or come across. Some guys out of Arizona, really had some great conversations with them over a lot of drinks. Either of you know what a Scooby snack is?
No.
I don't want to find out.
Yeah.
I found out the hard way. Very, very delicious beverage, which will get you absolutely wrecked when you have, it's like one of those that feels like you're drinking juice. And then after you have like 5 or 6 of them, you're like, there was way more booze in here than
Someone submitted it as their plus EV during the episode while we were recording.
Yeah. Scooby snacks. Anything else that stood out? One other thing that stood out for me, I think there's like kind of themes over time. We got asked about this off air, which I'm not going to give the answer that I gave, because for people who attended our live episode and paid for a ticket, got Q&A,
value.
It's only fair
value.
that the answers that to those questions stay in that room. But last year, there was tons of top-down bettors. And I'm not saying there wasn't this year, but last year, it was like everyone around was top-down, and a lot of the questions were, okay, how am I going to scale this? I'm doing well, but I'm getting cut off everywhere. How can I scale this? This year, there were so many movers there, like tons relative to last year. I think a lot of people are actually like realizing that they can iron out a spot for themselves in the professional landscape and ecosystem by moving bets. And I noticed that in Plentiful this year, which is music to your ears if you originate sports, and there's a lot of movers around and they all want to be competitive on price. So again, just for another, anyone out there that's professional bettor, that was pretty fantastic. We met Kanish this week.
Oh, Uncle K, good to meet in person, brother. Thanks for all the support.
Not just Kanish. You didn't get
no, but honestly though, Kanish, unacceptable what he did. We gotta tell people what he did. It's like straight up the most disrespectful thing of all time.
Yeah.
This guy flew into BetBash, came to the conference for what was seemingly appeared to be 28 minutes.
Also, let's point out that he didn't even have a ticket to the conference. Just came up the elevator.
That's even less disrespectful than what he did. He came to Vegas from wherever he lives, Michigan somewhere, whatever, yep. Detroit. He comes to Vegas, sits in there, comes by for legitimately 28 minutes. Hey, what's up? He's talking to everybody like this. And then he leaves. I'm like, oh, nice. Kanish, we're going to go to dinner. We're going to do whatever. We're going to fire up. We're going to fire up. This guy doesn't come to dinner, shuts his phone off, goes to bed at 8 o'clock. 7:02. Last seen 7:02. Goes to bed. Wakes up in the morning. He's tweeting, "Oh, I'm at the airport." Whatever.
He also recorded a video.
He came for 28 minutes. It was insane.
Fremont Street at like 5 a.m. with no one there. He recorded a video which got picked up by a big Las Vegas site called Las Vegas Locally.
Yeah.
And he's just there on Fremont, and it's like, dude. She just came out with us last night, but
he didn't go out. He was in his room.
We do know he has social anxiety.
Uncle K.
I don't know what that's like personally, but there was one. Zach will find it with Uncle K. On
I was just hoping to get buzz with him for a bit, but
I think this is it right there. Yeah, he's just there. There's no one out there. Turns around, it's his face, that ugly mug of his, and that's it. But it was great to meet him. Listen, it's step in the right direction. Like, he's talked about this publicly before. He does have social anxiety. This is the first time ever he didn't completely stiff me for some sort of occasion.
At least he did show up. He did show up for 28 minutes.
He did show up. Also, I got to meet Brad Powers for the first time, who I've never met in person before.
I didn't even see Powers.
Yeah, Powers was down in the whatever that
Vegas
bar is.
Vegas Vicky's.
What's it called?
Vegas Vicky's.
Vegas Vicky's, yeah, that bar over there.
I want to give a shout out actually to someone. Sammy P, former guest of the pod. Yeah. What a legend, man. This guy was, we were sweating a big DGen sports parlay with a group of us.
Oh, you were part of that too, that was getting tweeted about.
It was actually my parlay.
Was it the France-Belgium?
No. That was a tough loss for some other people. I wasn't in on that. I had a big parlay. We ran up. I don't even want to tell the story. It's like whatever. We ran up a balance. Started small.
Well, no, you don't.
I won't say
this
the
came
amounts.
From the blackjack night.
From the blackjack night,
extra money.
We ran up a balance starting small. We ran up a balance pretty big, including that massive double down that we had. It always happens, by the way. When you're like, okay, last hand, I'm all in. That's going to be a double down. Just accept it. It's true. So yeah, ran up a big balance. We were partnering. It's always fun to partner. That's like the way to kind of do it. We throw it on a DGen sports parlay. We're like, okay, let's all pick a leg. Submit it over the counter. Because it was coming under my name, the Circa trading team took 12 minutes to review it. It was literally a straight DGen parlay. These guys were review, like not even best prices.
AM.
Like 7:30 a.m.
That's why they're great trading.
These guys are even so. If the guys on the phone, like, I don't know if they're gonna take this. I'm like, buddy, like, let me talk to them. We're just trying to run up this balance for fun and like for tomorrow. Like we started small. Anyways, we're sweating. Sammy P's in with us on the sweat. Couldn't have been a better guy to sweat a game with. He'll fire up with you. He's just a professional all around. You know, there's those guys where, you know, they don't want you to win, or even guys who, like, so basically what happened is we needed a miracle comeback. Padres -1.5. They tie it top 9, send it to extras, and then they win it in extras by 3. So we cashed that, which sent the last leg to an under we needed, which was looking incredible all game, and then got busted in the 9th with a 2-run jack over the Green Monster in Boston. But even when we lost it, Sammy was just like, you know, how you just go like straight face, like, sorry, boys. Like he's just a professional all around. Yeah. Shout out, I appreciate that. We had a lot of fun.
Sammy actually bets. Like he's a content creator that actually like throws money. So he's been there before. I've been around Sammy for some sweats in Vegas before.
I'll tell you this right now. If we hit that parlay, which was for like whatever a good, decent amount, that was all getting rolled back, and we were either leaving with $0 or 1.6 million. I can guarantee you guys that.
With the Cybertruck.
We were leaving with the Cybertruck. There's for all those who were there, there's a Cybertruck ad. You can win a Circa Sports Cybertruck. We were driving that thing back to Toronto, or we were going bust.
Another admission of mine, because I think this is a very unpopular opinion. When I first saw the videos for the Cybertrucks, I was like, this is the ugliest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Now you like it?
Now that I've seen like them in person, they've really come. It's like I might get a Cybertruck at some point. Like it might actually.
I'm not ashamed to admit this, but I got a couple on order. So
do you have them on order?
Yeah, I'll sell you one. I'm looking to make 20% on my $250 deposit if you're interested.
I forgot about the deposits, right? It's so cheap to put the deposit down on the card. Doesn't matter. They'll order them in. But
imagine I make 20% off Rob, make a $100 off him.
I will not do that. That's a minus EV move for me, especially to you, because you'll talk about that till the end of time. By the time I got the better of you. Yeah, whatever you think about Elon, I don't care. Like, you're entitled to your opinion. It's fine. Tesla's a solid piece of technology.
A guy came to me at the conference. He said, positive EV move you gave out was to get a Tesla on a previous episode. He's like, and that was the best move I ever did. I love my Tesla.
Yeah, they don't pay us for anything, but I love my car, and I can't imagine that I would honestly go to a different brand. Especially just like when you always look at like when you're shopping for anything, right? You're always comparing like what else can I get in the same price range. Once you start comparing in the same price range, it's not even even remotely close.
As of right now, I support Tesla. As of right now, this could change. You never know.
It could change. Will we update it when it changes? I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm saying as of this day, it is what it is. I have one other thing was just happened to be in the right place at the right time for this story, but took an Uber to the airport, the night flight, red-eye flight on the last night I was there, and 5 of us in the Uber on the way to the airport. A couple different flights, actually, not all to Toronto. And boy, did I get the greatest Uber story I've ever heard in my entire life. This is not a joke. I will never be able to tell the story the way this guy told it, so I'm not going to even try to tell it. But I can guarantee you guys, no exaggeration, all 5 people in the cab were actually crying. Real tears out the eyes. Abs crying in pain.
Sadness? Or
crying of laughter.
Oh, okay.
Like crying so hard of laughter where we literally got out of the Uber and were crying. Like I had tears. I wasn't just crying like a tear rolled down. Tears hit the floor. That's how hard I was crying. My abs were hurting. Tears hit the floor. We got out. And then the guy who called the Uber, I said, you know what? I can't let this story go. I need to contact this guy and see if we can get him on the podcast. So we called him, like clicked like, oh, we forgot an item in the car just so we could call him. And then said, hey, buddy. I said, hey, buddy, I actually host a gambling podcast. That story was so good that I think you got to come on this air and tell us. And he's like, I don't know. I got his number. He said he's going to think about it.
What was like the, don't give it away, but if you had to do like the teaser, dude, for the story.
I'll tell you what it was because this wasn't even the funny part, but this guy was, it was this guy. He was down, he's living in Vegas. This was like 5 years ago. He was down bad, like down very, very bad in life. Like his wife was going to leave him, kid gone, filed for divorce. He had no money. He was about to lose everything, like evicted from his house. He's going to be on the street. He scrounged together from like payday cash advances and credit card cash advances, all the money he could formally get, which was $4,000. He was planning to dunk it all on a parlay. If it hit, he was going to pay it back and live his life. If it lost, he was going to file for bankruptcy and he would have been homeless. The guy slapped it on a 6-team bowl game parlay. He had the ticket open and it fucking hit, bro. It hit. It was the first bet he ever placed in his life. He fucking hit it. And then he since then got his family back, everything like that. He's in a good spot 5 years later. Like he's actually making a go of things now. And he's never bet again, bro. It's the greatest story I've ever heard, gambling related. Ever.
We should give out a PSA to not do this, by the way, because for every story like this, there's somebody who dunked it and completely lost their life, and we don't mean to laugh about that, but
definitely don't do this. But like the story we heard, I mean, it's in combination to the people he told it to were literally 5 like big sports bettors who were just coming off this conference, like betting on sports and like having fun betting and stuff like that. But honestly, man, if we get this guy on the pod, it won't be a full episode. We'll just get him on to like tell 10 minutes of this story. If we can get him on, like the way he told this story, like the funny part where we were in tears was him like sweating out the last game. But just, the stuff that you can't write this stuff. Like he remembered, like the story was so factual and it's factual because like you don't forget these details. He remembered every single detail. He showed us the ticket. I was like, let me, I'm like, oh, that's amazing. Like she showed me the payout and I'm like, let me see the games. Oh, by the way, 16 parlay, all dogs. dude,
similar to yours, no?
You guys got to see what Tar parlay? Yeah, but this guy put a 16 parlay in all dogs. Like if we get this guy on the pod, I'll be happy. I don't know if he's going to come on. It seems at this point, like it's not likely, but I'm going to text him after this.
All right. A few other notes on my end. They have a scavenger hunt every year. Did you hear anything about a scavenger hunt?
No, I didn't even hear anything.
I didn't hear any, but like zero buzz. So I think that's probably going to be not a thing going forward. I know it was optional this year. Over, under, I don't know the answer to this. I'm just going to set a line. Over, under, 4.5 people that turned out for scavenger hunt this year.
It's got to be over, no?
You think over?
I think over. Yeah, at those odds, I'd have to take, at that line, I'd have to take.
What if I said 9.5? Double digits. People.
When was this? What day?
It was over the course of the entire.
Under. Yeah. Over the course of the entire thing, like this whole.
You could like complete it at any time. I think.
How many people submitted and completed it?
How many people took part? Like they submitted.
Oh yeah, probably like 6, 7.
Yeah, that's a good guess. I think
6 to 7. Like completed it and like was like,
went a little bit too low in the first place. By the way, not. Listen, if you did compete in it, you're free to do whatever you want. Last year, a lot of people did. This year,
I bet Plus TV Analytics did it to defend his championship. He must have done it.
Wouldn't you want to just say that you retire undefeated?
I actually like Matt. I like Matt, Plus TV Analytics. I played blackjack with him. I lost like 3 hands in a row. I couldn't play with him anymore because he's just at the table. He's like a super smart math guy.
I can't deal with this.
He was just doing this. Like all the hands that come in, and he would just be like this. He'd just be like stand, split, double, stand.
I can't. Listen, there's nothing that bothers me more. If somebody asks, I will gladly tell them what to do. But also, it's their own money. They could play however they want. There's people that get so cheesed when like a guy doesn't like, oh, you're supposed to double that. It's like he's playing his own money. Like
yeah. Also, it's all if you care about this, it's all we're negative EV anyways. Like it's all negative EV. unless you're counting or something, which not that many people are in these casinos these days. It's really hard to get away with. So realistically, it's all negative EV anyways. Like, so if a guy stands or pulls an extra card, who cares? It's not impacting your thing.
Sports Gambling Hall of Fame dinner on Friday night. You were not there. You were there last year.
Yeah. That was when I was leaving this year, so I didn't attend.
Again, this isn't a phony podcast. I'm gonna tell it like it is. With all due respect to
I'm
people,
seeing this photo on the screen, bro. And
we'll get to that shortly.
What is this?
With all due respect to the people in the Sports Gambling Hall of Fame and getting in, I get it. They're getting in. The event is too long, dude. It's way too long.
How long was it?
It's like 7 to 11 for 10 inductees. There's a couple of breaks. Mike Palm is the host. I think he's very good at hosting it. Does a great job. But there's like someone who presents every person in the Hall of Fame. So they go up on stage, they tell their stories about their experience with that person. Then there's like a montage that plays of guys who are already in the hall that are talking about this, how they knew this other person. Then they go up and they accept the award. It's too long. Like I watched the WWE Hall of Fame ceremony and like Ric Flair takes less time than these guys are doing and like, you know, I saw Billy Walters go up with papers, like pull papers out of his pocket. I was like, here we go. Like papers at a speech, it's got to not happen. There's got to be something done about this. I want to go to these dinners. This is not any disrespect to people who are getting in the Hall of Fame. Truth is, I don't know a lot of them because I'm born in the mid-'80s. A lot of these people were relevant way before me. I like the stories. I'm very interested in a lot of this. But it can't be a 4-hour dinner. It cannot be. And by the time dinner gets served, it's like 9 o'clock. It's tough. I hate to come across, but that's my experience. And believe me, I think that's the experience. I was looking around at tables of people around me, and I don't think I had an unpopular opinion. Last thing I will say,
it is what it is. I didn't attend, so I can't comment this year. But I really want to see this photo here.
Okay, we will get to that because this is part of my plus EV minus EV. We will get to the photo that is up on our screen. However, first and foremost, our live recording of Circles Off. I love doing that. I don't know about
banger,
you.
bro. It was a banger.
It was.
Everyone said it was my funniest episode because I was more loose. I like getting.
Okay, I have to.
I like public.
I have to be honest with you right now. I'm gonna be very honest and upfront with you. That was one of your best episodes ever because it was live and you were unfiltered. we pre-record some episodes and listen. People don't know this. A cat's out of the bag, but obviously Zach, our producer, edits every episode. Sometimes we cut stuff out. And
I've been messaging him like 2 a week now to cut stuff up.
Sometimes Johnny has a cramp behind the table and he stands up to stretch and he's like, no, cut this out. I don't want people seeing this. But that was unfiltered, like raw in the moment. People were dying of laughter. Yeah. Like that in-play guy that was in the front row. Oh my God. I think that he would have paid more for that than like a Jerry Seinfeld stand-up or something. He was in his element.
When the cams went off too they're still on. I guess we still have the recording, but the part Q&A. That we didn't air, the Q&A.
Yeah,
I had some funny ones, bro.
There was some
with the satchel.
Oh, the satchel. There, I have to carry my insulin around in this. Satchel.
I know. We know, Rob.
He gets so mad. He gets so mad that I have to. This is like all my diabetic supplies. I got to carry it around. There's the alternative is I take all these things out individually and stuff them in my pockets. It sucks.
Put that in a duffel bag.
This is way easier. That was amazing. Also, what came up, there was the final question of that, which was about from I believe Eli
the Iceman.
The Iceman.
Eli the Iceman.
So. He asked, when is Rob going to play me in Monopoly?
Yeah, for those who don't know, this guy's been just commenting. He made a full Twitter account. I'm pretty sure his account's just challenging Rob to Monopoly after Rob said on an earlier episode of Circles Off that he's good at Monopoly.
Yeah, I just said I studied like optimal Monopoly, which is not like rocket science, by the way. Optimal Monopoly strategy is pretty easy. But then he started commenting on some videos saying he would roast both of us in Monopoly because I think you said you were good at Monopoly too.
Yeah, I'm down to play him, by the way, if we're going to set something up.
Okay, so long story short, over the course of the week, this guy's just tweeting at me. I'm playing poker at the table. I look at my phone. I got a tweet from Eli the Iceman. Like, I see you over there at table 12, ducking me at Monopoly and whatever. Then as the week goes on, people start coming up to me and handing me these individual Monopoly chance and community chest cards that have like written messages on the back. You have won second prize in a beauty contest. Collect $10. There were only 2 contestants. You and Eli the Iceman. You know, like, you'll never be free until you play me, Rob, because this is like a go to jail card.
Dude, that's a good one on the second place in a beauty contest.
Yes. So people are rolling up to me and giving me these things.
And random people are giving it to you. Different people. Like, hey, I was told to give you this.
They would say, I was told to give you this. This one is a Circa Resort and Casino card, which by the cleverness of these is actually really good. Rob, enjoy your new home. Eli the Iceman. What property do you think he put in there? He put Baltic Avenue. Enjoy your new home. The worst property on the entire board. He put in there, and he put a little house. Gave me the little house.
The worst property is actually Mediterranean.
Well, still, I think, yes, good call. But cheap as hell. So yeah, he gave me those. Final night at Legacy Club was the best one because
this is a good one too, bro.
Fats rolled up to me and gave me that one on the final night.
So this one says this is the Monopoly chance card that says like make general repairs on your property, $25 per house, $100 per hotel. And then he says, Rob, if you ever muster up the courage to actually play me, this is what you're going to be dealing with, like the house damage. After Hurricane Eli rolls through. # Eli the Iceman.
So I'm getting these.
Good on you, mate. Good on you, mate. That's a funny joke.
It was a good joke. I always thought it was a joke. After I left Legacy Club, I don't know, 3:30 that night, something like that. Guy rolls up on me in the hallway, comes up to me, taps me on the shoulder. It's a guy that I've seen for the entirety of the betting conference. He was sitting right across from me playing poker. He was on the same floor as me at Circa, a couple doors down. And he just introduced himself. He's like, listen, I don't want you going home thinking you got like some sort of stalker that's out to like get you or whatever. It was me. Introduced himself. He's like, I really apologize. I'm like, no, don't apologize. I actually found this hilarious. It was really good. Like, didn't take it offensively. I had a great time with it. So that was.
You gonna play him or no?
I offered to play him, and he's like, Monopoly takes too long. It's like a 5 hour. it's like a 5 hour game. I'm like, I don't really like Monopoly. He's like, I know it takes too long. It'd be like a 5 hour game.
If he wants to do it, we can get the odds up somewhere, and you can play him, and we'll do a live stream. We'll do like a circles off like
Johnny and
I would rather you and Zach play as well.
4-man?
4-man game.
Yeah, but then trades and stuff. Like Zach's too much of a rookie. I don't want to be I don't want to have to fleece him.
You got to take advantage of Zach. That's the name of that's part of Monopoly though. You got to take advantage of the person who doesn't know what they're doing.
4-man games too much stupid trades. I want but you know what? There honestly, is different properties are better in the 4-man versus 2-man game.
Monopoly sucks. Let's call it out for what it is.
But honestly, let's put these in the studio. Let's put these on.
Yeah, we'll figure out a way to maybe get these I'll put them in like a hockey card sleeve or something like that and get them up on a wall. I did appreciate that. So overall, BetBash to me, great success again. I would highly recommend anyone goes out there. I think that there's enough for each different person. I got the feedback survey. I replied to it. I hope other people do too, so that we can kind of progress this going forwards. But
we said a lot of stuff about, I guess, changes and whatever, especially for you on the seminars. I just want to make it known, if nothing changed, I would still go back again next year. It was a great time. I had a lot of fun. The majority of the fun I had was just in the people, a lot of great people in the community. To get them all together in one spot and be able to meet new people and hang out with old friends and people in the community, amazing. As you start going more and more years, it compounds because now you know 25 guys. And then next year you know 50. Then the next year you know 100. And the amount of fun you will have is just tremendous. It was honestly one of the, like, straight up, this was the funnest time I ever had at a conference. This exact one, by a mile. Yeah. Tons of memories I'll never forget, tons of laughs, and honestly, like, I can't wait till next year. Good on you, mate.
I agree, and I have to just give a shout out to one person because he honestly makes a conference for me every year. Michael Craig, Right Angle Sports, Craiger, as we call him around. Just a true beauty. a man who's 10 years older than me, but thinks he's 20 years younger.
Okay.
Let's just
This
put
is-
Craig, well, Craig, honestly, this is a tragedy. I had so much fun drinking and gambling with Mike Craig over the past 2-3 years. This year, I quit drinking, so I wasn't drinking for the conference. And Mike Craig was taking a break from casino gambling. So we went up and it's like, oh, what are we going to do? So you know what? That was next year. We'll get him.
When he was taking a break from casino gambling?
Why, did he gamble with you?
You know what? Now that I think about it, I think he did. I don't think he did.
No, he said, I'm just taking a break from gambling for a bit. I was like, okay, no problem. I'm not going to force him to gamble. And I said, I'm taking a break from drinking. He said, no worries.
But here's the thing.
He still fires up.
It felt like I was gambling with him. He was just with me the whole time.
Yeah, no, he wasn't.
He wasn't betting. I didn't realize that till now. I don't know where he got those massive high. Like, did you see those tall boys of high noons?
Yeah, where does he get
Where
those?
does he get these things
kept
from?
coming
I've never
back
seen
with
that
them.
in my life. Also, shout out to Scott. Won't reveal his, but also a guy that will just literally be there till the end of the night every night. I truly appreciate those guys. They're absolute beauties.
Rob introduced me to Mike Craig, and the first words that came out of his mouth, he didn't even say anything to me. He just said, "I'll kick your fucking ass in beer pong."
That's
Rob's like, "This is Mike Craig. Mike, this is producer Zach." And that's
Like,
what he
too
said.
many names to name, but a great time I had. Like a bunch of guys off Twitter that were great. Hoopster Bobby, that guy's a legend at the tables. Heels, absolute
Goofy,
legend.
Goofy.
Ferris,
Yeah.
we had a great time.
We had a nice Armenian barbecue as well, which is nice. Appreciate the invite there. It was honestly a blast, and that's a thing for me. Like, I agree. I'm nitpicking with a lot of this stuff. What I like to get, and this is like maybe very arrogant sounding. I would like to like learn something that I don't. Like, I used to go to conferences. 10 years ago when I was sports bettor, I just used to consume like sharp betting content. I love that, but I don't have that. That's maybe the only thing that's missing for me. The relationships are not, and I love the event. I really do. Had a great time with that. Plus
please,
EV,
I want to see
minus
this.
EV.
Please, I need to see this picture.
Okay, so this is going to be my my minus EV of the week. Elihu, I chatted with him a lot this week. I know that there's some people have very strong opinions of him. I've always maintained a very cordial relationship with Elihu. We've been able to chat, never had any issues with him. Personally, he tweets out, "Jim Everts convinced me to quit lawyering and go to Curacao 20 years ago. Best decision of my life." It's a picture of Elihu and Jim Everts. However,
At the Hall of Fame dinner.
no, was it the Hall of Fame?
Yeah.
Okay, I immediately noticed.
Why else would they be wearing these clothes?
Yeah, good point. I immediately noticed Elihu's tie in this picture, which is very, very extremely wrinkled. I don't want to make an example of him, but it is out there publicly, so I have to talk about this. Do not show up to an event. Here's the thing. If you're going to travel with a tie, you roll it up, you put it in a shoe, in your luggage, you got no problems. You show up, you don't have to do anything. Let's say you didn't happen to do that, and you show up with this tie. Circa has steamers in their room, all right? You steam the wrinkles out of it. Let's say by some chance your room doesn't have an iron or a steamer and nothing works.
You can't get access to an iron or a steamer.
At that point, you just don't wear the tie. Like, you literally do not show up with the tie on, or you never unbutton your jacket. You just keep it.
No, this one would have been noticeable through the button. That's how bad this is.
I think it's.
You actually have to see this photo because Rob's not. He's like, yeah, his tie is wrinkled. But I don't think he's doing it justice just to how wrinkled this tie is.
I feel so bad, but I had to. I couldn't do nothing.
Also, on the topic of this, I don't know the guy on the left, Jim, I believe is his name.
Yeah.
You also got to tuck that back end of the tie into the tag there as well. That's also pretty unacceptable.
I agree. Sometimes it can come out. Like, sometimes you tie a tie where
no, it doesn't come out like that. But
well,
he didn't tuck it in.
I don't know. I don't know what to tell you. I don't want to fixate on Jim here. Clearly, the problem is that wrinkled tie, which is
this might be the worst. This might be the worst two-tie pick I've ever seen.
Extremely noticeable. The wrinkles on that
right here.
tie.
What's going on?
So minus EV. Just like I talked about this and like being in last week's live episode. I talked about networking and being presentable. I will think of this forever when I think of Elihu. It's sad, but I will. He will never live this down. And that's not something you want to be known for. So
it's all jokes.
It is all jokes. As my plus EV, I will say, on the same topic, and I did this week as I tend to do as much as humanly possible, travel without a checked bag.
No doubt.
I can't. There's people waiting at the carousel at the airport for their bags to come out. It takes like 45 minutes in some of these cases. One poor guy lost a bag on his way from Toronto to Vegas this year, and like
ruins. It's a trip ruiner. Yeah, it's honestly a trip.
But how many clothes are you? And also, like on a Toronto to Las Vegas, you're going to another major city. Like if you forgot something, you could just buy it. Like very, very easily, you can get it there. But yeah, I just, most people are coming in for 3 or 4 days. What are you checking a bag for? What are you traveling with in a bag? I say this as a male. I don't know for females, you can wear a lot of dresses, stuff like that. Might be a different story. I can't say specifically, but if you're a male, travel without a checked bag. Way easier.
I feel like it doesn't even matter if you're a male or female. It's directly correlated with the length of your trip. Anything like a 3-day trip, you obviously don't check a bag. I'd rather bring a backpack than check a bag.
What am I checking?
To be fair, maybe Elihu didn't check a bag and had to put that tie in his backpack. Like we don't know all the facts.
Just roll the tie and put it in your shoe. It's a savior. I'll tell you right now.
I got a couple. So plus EV move of the week here is, if you're flying on a red-eye flight, meaning let's say your flight's at 11 p.m. and it's through the middle of the night, book an extra hotel room for that day, right? You think, oh, well, I'm not staying the night. I don't need the hotel room. But there's value in the convenience of being able to, store your stuff there, be able to hang out the full day, and then just go back to your hotel room, and then you can shower, you could change. You don't have to worry about changing in the washroom. Obviously, this is highly dependent on cash situation, and I definitely wouldn't recommend it. But for convenience, Vegas hotel rooms are actually not that expensive for those of you who've never been. It's everything else really that gets you on the price, but the hotel rooms are not that expensive.
Provided you avoid a Friday or Saturday night, you're pretty much...
Yeah, or if you book it far enough in advance. Yeah. If you're trying to book day of, you're going to obviously get reamed. But I'd say, tremendous value. And also, like, even if you're not going to sleep there, right? So even if let's say there's 3 or 4 of you leaving on the same day, you don't necessarily have the funds to get your own, split one with 4 guys, because you're not going to sleep there anyways. It doesn't matter if you have one bed. You can store all your luggage there. You can all go there. You can all use the shower, actually store your bags there, get changed, whatever. I'd say that's even value if you wanted to save a little bit of money there.
I agree.
Agree on that take?
I mean, listen, I usually just get Benson to get me late checkout at 2 p.m., which is essentially the equivalent.
But even 2 p.m., I would have loved. Fly out late. I flew out at 11 o'clock. Okay. I would have loved to be able to go have all my stuff in my hotel room, go whatever I want, not have to carry my backpack around all day, because I don't want to leave my backpack at the desk.
I'm with you. If I have a red eye flight, I do this when I go with my wife to Vegas. We always book the room for that day as well. Somewhere to keep your bags, somewhere to go back and shower. And honestly, sometimes you just want to go take a nap and just lay down.
So second, listen, a long time ago on this show, somebody recommended to try the Barry's Burger. Mm-hmm. Okay? I tried the Barry's Burger.
Okay.
No good. I'll tell you this right now, no good. For a variety of reasons.
Yeah.
Was it a burger that was tasty? Yes, absolutely. Was it all that? No. Was it $59 and only $6 less than a filet?
Yes.
Yes. To get this burger over the filet was an absolute tragedy on my end that I will never do ever again. It was honestly the negative EV move of the trip that I made, and I will never be getting the Barry's Burger ever again. Get the steak, obviously. And I knew that, but I was thinking, oh no, this guy's on the podcast said it was a great burger. Maybe it's going to blow my mind. Rob said, got texted, whatever. No. Terrible move. Was it a fine burger? Yes. I'm not saying it was bad. I'm not saying I didn't like eating it. But obviously the filet was the move. And that's just on me. That's on me. There's nothing else I could have done. That's on me 100%. I can't even blame other people.
Johnny's referring to Barry's Steakhouse, which is in the lower level of Circa, which is a banger steakhouse. It's very, very good. I eat there whenever I can. That recommendation came from Bill 80, who's the COO of VSiN and lives at Circa. So the first time I ever went to Barry's, I asked him what should I get. He recommended I get the rib cap, but he said, like, listen, every now and then he's like, there's a steakhouse. It's kind of embarrassing to go there and order the burger, but the burger's good. I order the burger. I will say there was a big group last year that went, like 12 people. I think exclusively ordered the burger for one night. There was mixed reviews. Lots of them saying it was the best burger they had. Lots of them saying, it's a burger, it's good. Don't get me wrong. Also, there was like a lot of edibles flying that night, so these guys are like high and they would have eaten anything at that point. But you're entitled to your opinion. I haven't had the burger since the first time I ever went there. I thought it was a good burger. I don't order it now though because, like, again, like the rib cap is actually the way to go.
Listen, I would say normally I say I'm happy I tried it, but you know what? I'm not happy I tried it. I would rather have gotten the filet. And I want to tell you guys, if you go to Barry's, don't get the burger. It doesn't make any sense. The best burger you could possibly have is not even as good as a filet. So there you go. That's it, simply put. But hey, that's my advice. If you like my tap water, no tap water take, then tail me on this one as well. No Barry's
I wonder
burger.
if there's going to be like an expert burger connoisseur who now responds to this. There's
always
an expert that responds to any single, plus someone who, like, you didn't even know this job existed. I don't remember what the water guy was.
Dude, this guy said he's a 36-year veteran. Tap water. No, there's no way, bro.
What was it?
Did we mention? I think we mentioned on the live yesterday.
But this always happens. It always happens. No matter whenever we have a strong take, somebody jumps in, and they claim to be like a proficient expert in whatever space we're talking about. It happens every single time.
This guy literally commented and said, wait, is this right here?
It was the Prop Dude episode.
He said this. This is what he's claiming. As a water quality engineer for 7 years, I've never seen someone so uneducated. Bro, you're not a water. That's not even a real job, first off. Second off, this guy's... no, honestly, bro, there's no way. And then he's claiming as a water quality engineer, he happens to also be right here in Ontario. No, there's no way, bro. Every time we do it, there's always someone.
Well, Ontario is our most highly viewed region. I would say that's what... I think this is... We argued about this at dinner.
Dude, we don't have that many...
Dude thinks this is a real comment.
No, it's not.
I don't think it is.
Dude, we don't have that many people listening to the podcast that every time we have an opinion, someone's like, no. As a expert on... I used to make homemade sunscreen for 20 years. No, bro. There's no way.
There's no way. I agree. I think that's a fake one. Zach?
Yeah. First, one of the things that was really cool that happened throughout the entire week was people coming up and just giving me their own plus EV or minus EV things. I thought that was pretty funny. Or commenting on ours. Johnny, I don't know if you got this as well. One of the most common things I got during the week. What the fuck is a Vegas cab beer? People are not happy with that pitch.
Everybody kept telling me that too.
I ripped a couple this
week. They hated that. A couple guys came to me and they said Rob was out to lunch with those grapes too. They're like, buddy, thank you for calling him out.
I will again. There is no downside. There's not a single downside that someone can give me to the grape, the frozen grape.
I'll give you one downside. What if you drink a little bit of sugar from that grape? Now your drink is now a slight bit worse from you for no value.
You're not drinking sugar. It's a frozen grape, dude. It takes a long time for it. By that point, if it's unfrozen, just throw the drink in the garbage.
But why does it have to be grapes? The chemicals are going to mix and the flavor will be slightly altered.
It's grapes because they don't mix.
They have to mix in some way. Even if it's a small percentage, they have to mix.
If they mix... There's no way.
You're going to put frozen grapes in a beer.
In a beer test on this show. We are doing a taste test on this show.
You're going to put frozen grapes in your beer.
No, we won't do it on the show. We'll just do a video of it.
Because I never ice a beer. I don't ice a beer. You ice your beers?
No, but I'm just saying. Would you put frozen grapes in your beer?
I wouldn't put a frozen grape in my beer because I don't ice my beer.
Because you don't put a frozen grape in a drink.
To an ice cube. It's an alternative to an ice cube.
Put frozen grapes in your soup.
I will tell you this: if you did put a fucking frozen,
you put frozen grapes in your soup.
I don't put ice cubes.
I kind of agree with Johnny that there would be tainted.
You put frozen grapes in your Coca-Cola.
I would put a frozen grape in my Coca-Cola.
That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous.
We're doing a blind. I'm going to get you 10 glasses of Coca-Cola.
I don't drink pop.
Okay, what do you drink? What do you drink with ice?
Bottled water.
I'll get 10 bottled water. 10 bottled waters.
Some with grapes and some without.
One will have
one glass of tap.
But how long is the grape in there?
The grape. We could put it in there for half an hour.
Okay, done. Yeah, well, I'll try to get.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna do this.
Is it a green grape or a purple
It doesn't
grape?
matter what kind of grape is because you don't taste the grape. It could be any
Put one
grape.
with a green grape, one with a purple grape. And
Sure, we'll do a red grape and a white grape. You green and purple.
Okay.
I guess that's the actual color. Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, this is my plus EV. This was actually brought up in a conversation the last night we were there. We ran into some listeners of the pod, guys from BC. There's a bunch of them, and they were talking about the keg. And then while we were talking about the keg, which is probably exclusive to Canada, how this plus EV works.
There's kegs in Arizona now.
Perfect. People in Arizona can use this, but you could probably apply this to other restaurants as well. Plus EV is when they come around to the table at first and they seat you, you say yes, you're there for a special occasion.
Of course, dude.
Because
for a free dessert.
For the free dessert.
The
free roll. You also, it's a free roll.
You do that every time. You book a reservation, you're always there for
when I book a
Yes.
reservation, oh man, this is a plus even
No,
Luke. When I book a reservation, you know what I put? This is the one they're most likely to give you something. If you ever go, you put anniversary.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's value because the
They
anniversary.
also can't prove it. They can't ask you for.
Yeah,
they don't ask you for an
exactly.
ID. No one's asking for the ID to see your birthday. But
Right.
also, they can't ask you for it.
Right.
Anniversary is the EV move to put.
Man,
But
this
it's
is
not
a really good one. Honestly, Zach, this might be one of the best ones you've ever given out before.
Well, this one is just like you go to other places, you have to tell them, oh, birthday, anniversary, whatever, after the fact. You have to say, like, oh, we're here celebrating this. The keg, the first thing they do, I started thinking about the first thing they do every time. Are you here for a special occasion?
Something,
Yes. Yes, every time. You could get away with so much too with it. Like, got a promotion, graduated something, changed jobs, whatever.
One day we'll be there saying we got 10K subs on Circles Off.
Exactly.
Providing you guys actually
next
sub
week.
to the program.
Yeah. But that's plus EV.
Thinking back also, if it's a first date as well with the girl, it's a cool icebreaker near the end. You know, it's like they come with the not that you say it before. Like if you put it in the rezo when you book the rezo, and then they just come after and they're like happy anniversary, and then you're just like, oh, what's this? Like, did you plan this? Like, you know. Could go. We gotta cut that out.
No, keep that in. I told you, unfiltered from now on.
Cut that out.
You got a minus EV or you?
Minus EV. Kind of piggybacking off of what Johnny was talking about with going to the casino, and Rob had brought up there as well. Is like that night that we went and we were there till 7:30, 7:45 in the morning.
When Benson didn't accept our bet for 12 minutes.
Yeah. I didn't gamble for the last couple of hours. Like I knew what I was willing to bet. Gamble each day. I knew what I was willing to lose. But the negative EV is not hanging out with your boys. You don't have to be gambling, but not hanging out with them while they're doing it, even just being a part of the crowd and just hanging out. That's a night like I will never forget. Being there, being a part of that experience, the five of us there at the tables, bouncing back and forth from one table to the next, Johnny running to the cage, us placing a D-Gen bet for the next day to sweat, which turned into
an incredible sweat,
right?
Like a full day sweat.
He was sweating with us, like it just rolled over and rolled over.
And he boosted your relationship with Sammy P as well.
No, there's a bunch of people sweating with us. It wasn't just Sammy P. There's like at the end of it, we're like, yo, this is the last
Canadian sweating.
No, because he's like, we're like, yo, this is the last leg. Like we're gonna cash here, and then he was like, oh shit, like we actually, and then a bunch of people were just sweating with us, and then like it was me and one other guy who actually had it, and then we're like, yo, well, it was a good amount of money, like whatever, it's for fun. Anyways, I'm like, anyone who's here sweating, like all of our friends, I was like, we'll just like free roll you guys 1,000 if it wins. Like no.
But like the negative EV is that we're there. You have an opportunity to be in Vegas and experience this, unless you're there for something like very specific that you can't really fuck around for, but like is not participating in those events and getting the most out of the experience, no matter what it is, even if it's not gambling, even if if your friends are going out and you don't want to drink, you don't have to drink. Go out and be with your friends. Like those are experiences that you may never get again, or you may miss out on something that you'll remember forever. Like that, I'm going to remember forever. So yeah.
I also want to make a couple call outs. Uncle K, I want to see you there next year at the tables. Whatever. You don't want to bet, you don't want to place an EV bet, I'll free roll you, Uncle K. Come to the tables, I want to see you there. Also, just a couple call outs. Shipper and Sprots, I want to see you guys next year at the tables as well, rolling some craps with us.
I think I met I won't give out the name, someone who's affiliated with them in some capacity. Actually, make for a good guest at some point. We'll talk about that at another point.
We got a ton of good guests also coming from the podcast. All right, this has been like a 2-hour episode, bro. Or
one question before we wrap up.
Yeah.
Either of you guys take the batteries out of the...
Oh, no. I forgot, bro.
No?
No.
Wow.
I did not.
Wow. You guys
I was
at
gonna-
least took the soap.
Bro,
in the
I
room,
was
no?
going to take the batteries and bring them here for a joke.
Oh, that would have been good.
Some poor
Right
soul
beside
would
your
have checked
hat.
in right after you, just laid down to turn on the TV.
No,
Nothing-
Benson would have called us out.
Oh, for sure he would have. For sure he would have. Appreciate everyone who tuned in. We're back next week with a guest episode. Going to be a good one. A person that I personally really like a lot. So tune in for that. Of course, make sure you subscribe here on Circles Off. Leave a review if you can, if you're listening in audio form. And follow us on social media as well, at Circles Off HQ on Twitter. Of course, finally, check out Pinnacle Sportsbook. If you're in Canada, use code HAMMER to sign up. For myself, Johnny, producer Zach, we'll be back next week. Peace out.
Cheers.